I showed up to cover one Saturday shift at my uncle's warehouse and accidentally uncovered a 6-year theft. His operations manager had quit without notice, walked out mid-shift over a scheduling dispute. My uncle called me Thursday night, voice tight. I had a logistics background from my internship sophomore year and he knew it. Just Saturday, he said, help me get through the weekend orders. I'll pay you twice whatever you're making at the coffee shop. I showed up at 6 a.m. with a notepad. The warehouse ran on a system that had probably made sense in 2009. Paper manifests, a whiteboard tracking outbound shipments, a shared email inbox nobody had sorted in 11 days, 14 part-time workers operating on institutional memory and collective guesswork. Saturday was manageable. Sunday I came back because the Monday shipments needed staging and nobody else knew the client priority codes. By Tuesday I was there before anyone else, mapping the bottlenecks I'd already identified. My uncle thought I was just being helpful. I was, but I was also genuinely alarmed. 3 of his top clients were receiving shipments averaging 4 days behind contract. He didn't know because nobody had been compiling the data. It was all there in the inbox. Complaints, follow-up emails, one formal written notice, sitting unread, buried under forwarded newsletters his former operations manager had been collecting since 2021. I drafted a response to the formal notice. My uncle reviewed it, looked at me strangely, and asked who'd written it. He sent it that afternoon without changing a word. By end of week 2, I'd rebuilt the tracking sheet into a shared document the whole floor could update in real time. Cut the check-in process from 40 minutes to 12. The workers adapted faster than I expected. Most of them were frustrated by the old system and just hadn't had anyone willing to change it. The difficult part came in week 3, a $60,000 inventory discrepancy. Product logged as shipped that hadn't moved. Some of it was data entry error, some of it wasn't. I sat with the numbers for 2 full days before bringing it to my uncle. That conversation was the hardest thing I've done professionally. He'd trusted his former manager for 6 years. The man had been at his wedding. I laid the documentation on his desk and watched my uncle's face move through about 7 emotions in 4 minutes. He didn't speak for a long time. Then he asked if I was sure. I showed him how I'd verified it 3 separate ways. He nodded slowly and said he needed to make some calls. I went back to the floor, genuinely unsure whether I'd still have a job by Friday. He called me into his office the next morning and thanked me, quietly, without many words, the way men in his generation thank people when they're trying not to show how much something cost them. He'd already contacted his attorney. By week 4, the workers had started coming to me with process questions without being directed to. One of the senior guys, 8 years with the company, pulled me aside one afternoon and said the last operations manager had never walked the floor once. He said it simply, like a fact, not a compliment, but I understood what he meant. I hadn't thought of it as strategy. I was just trying to understand how things actually moved. My uncle made it official in month 2. Operations manager. Full salary, benefits, a business card I haven't ordered yet because it still feels temporary. I'm 24 years old. I came in to cover a Saturday. The detail I keep returning to is the formal complaint letter. 3 careful paragraphs from a client who'd been patient for months before finally putting it in writing. It sat in that inbox for 9 days before I found it. Nobody was ignoring it on purpose. That's the part that stayed with me. The whole system had learned to function around the broken parts until someone from outside couldn't stop noticing them. I still arrived before anyone else. Walk the floor once before the first shift clocks in. Check the overnight email. Make coffee. I never went back to the coffee shop. My manager there texted after 2 weeks asking if I was alright. I told her I was. I just accidentally got a career on a Saturday.